Students, now we will discuss staffing process. Staffing consists of major 5 steps. Number 1, estimation of manpower requirement. Number 2, recruitment. Number 3, selection. 4, placement and orientation. And 5th, training and development. And training and development consists of further 3 steps: performance appraisal, promotion and career planning, and compensation. Now let's see these steps in detail. Number 1, it begins with estimating manpower requirement. As staffing consists of ensuring manpower availability all the time in any organization to carry out its operational function smoothly. So it requires manpower planning. That means it must be decided in advance how many type of people and number of people are required in a particular point of time in an organization. So these requirements are fulfilled by appointing qualified, educated and knowledgeable people at work. So estimating manpower requirements means knowing how many persons are needed and of what type of people are required to fill the job positions. Types means educational qualification, skills, prior experience, personal characteristics, etc. Manpower planning consists of 2 steps. Number 1, workload analysis. Workload analysis means how many jobs are vacant in any organization on which people are required to be filled. So workload analysis is an assessment of the number and types of human resources necessary for the performance of various jobs and accomplishment of organizational objectives. It is determined on the basis of number of jobs are vacant in an organization. The next step is workforce analysis. That means how many number of people are already working in an organization. Then we will compare both workload analysis and workforce analysis and then decide how many people are required to perform the remaining tasks. This comparison enables the organization to understand whether the organization is understaffed, overstaffed, or optimally staffed. In fact, this exercise would form the basis of the subsequent staffing actions. Like if there is overstaffing in an organization, so excess employees can be removed or transferred anywhere, so that balance can be maintained between workload and workforce. Otherwise, there would be more play, less work, which lead to wastage of human resources. On the other hand, if there would be understaffing in an organization, so we can proceed further to next step, that is recruitment. So we will start recruiting the required people in the organization to fill the vacant job. It is suggested that before starting the recruitment process, it is important to understand the manpower requirement. That means to determine the manpower requirements into specific job descriptions and the candidate profile, the desired qualifications. Understanding the manpower requirement would enable to appoint experienced, qualified and personnel in an organization. Now next step is recruitment. After planning of manpower recruitment, now managers try to induce more and more people to apply for the job. This is called recruitment process. For recruitment process, company may prefer external source like advertising to inform the people about the vacant job in the organization, and other several means of external sources can be used like newspapers, through professional publication, through our job centers, through campus interviews, etc. We will study these in details in next part of the chapter. And for recruitment purpose, company can also prefer internal sources like through promotions, transfers. Company can fill the vacant job. Recruiting people through internal sources is more economical and quick, as well as by promoting the employees also boost the morale of the employees. Though company can prefer any sources for recruitment, internal or external, both internal and external sources of recruitment may be explored. Internal sources may be used to a limited extent because it reduces to have a chances of fresh talent and wider choice. So, recruitment may be defined as the process of searching for prospective employees and stimulated them to apply for jobs in the organization. Recruitment is a positive process as it seeks to attract suitable applicants to apply for available jobs in the organization. There is no rejection in this process. It is said because all job seekers are welcomed in the organization to apply for the job. Now, third step is selection. After recruiting the people, after attracting the number of people in the organization, now manager will proceed to select the right candidates at the right job. So it is the process of identifying and choosing the best person out of a number of prospective candidates for a job. It is a negative process because the candidates are required to take a series of employment tests and interviews. So, at every stage, they may be eliminated and a few move on to the next stage until the right type of employee is found. Those who are successful in the test and interviews in the selection process are offered an employment contract. That means only they are offered for a job. Even in case of highly specialized job where the choice space is very narrow, selection process contains two steps and serve two purposes. It ensures that the organization get the best amongst the available employees. It enhances the self-esteem and prestige of those selected and conveys to them to the seriousness with which the things are to be done in the organization. Children, selection process also contains several steps which we will study in next part of this chapter. Now let's see fourth, placement and orientation. Placement means joining a job by the new appointed employee in the organization. It refers to the employee occupying the position or post which she or he has been selected. Orientation means introducing the environment of an organization to the new appointed employees by giving a brief presentation about the company and is introduced to his superiors, subordinates and the colleagues. He is taken around the workplace and given the charge of the job which he has been selected. Sometimes this process is very crucial and may have a lasting impact on his decision to stay on his job performance. So, orientation is introducing the selected employee to the other employees and familiarizing her with the rules and policies of the organization. Now, the next step is training and development. Means provide learning related to job skills to improve the competence of employees and to motivate them. It is necessary to provide training and development opportunities to employees so that they can perform to their maximum capacity. So, it is an attempt to improve the current or future employee's performance by increasing an employee's ability to perform through learning, usually by changing the employee's attitude or increasing his skills and knowledge. Every employee has an objective to grow and progress at work. They always seek opportunities which bring them to the top. The best way to provide such an opportunity is to facilitate employee training. Some organizations have their own training centers, but some organizations deal with some institutions consist of experts to provide training to their employees. Training and development is not only beneficial for the employees, but it also benefits the organizations too. If employees' motivation is high, their competencies are increased. They perform in a better way and contribute more to achieve the organizational objective effectively and efficiently. So, by offering the opportunities, they can not only improve the performance of employees, as well as they can retain the qualified and talented people in their organization for a long period of time. So, if you wish to see the meaning of training in a more precise way, see, training is the process by which aptitudes, skill and abilities of employees to perform specific jobs are increased. It is a process of learning new skills and application of knowledge. It attempts to improve the performance of employees on the current job or prepare them for any intended job. Whereas development refers to the learning opportunities designed to help employees grow. It means growth of an individual in all respects. You can see the comparison between training and development. Training is a process of increasing knowledge and skills, whereas development is a process of learning and growth. It enables the employees to do the job in a better way. It enables the overall growth of the employee. It is the job-oriented process. It is a career-oriented process. It is a short-term process, but development is an ongoing process. It includes training also. Development benefits the employees in a long run by improving their skills and qualifications. Now, what 3 steps we are going to study? These are the part of training and development only. So, in this, number 1, performance appraisal. Performance appraisal refers to the evaluating of the performance of the employees on the basis of some set standards. These standards are already conveyed to the employees so that they can perform on the basis of standards. After the employees have undergone a period of training and they have been on the job for some time, there is a need to evaluate their performance. All organizations have some formal or informal means of appraising their employees' performance. Performance appraisal means evaluating an employee's current or past performance as against certain predetermined standards. The employee is expected to know what the standards are, and the superior is to provide the employee feedback on his or her performance. The performance appraisal process therefore will include defining the job, appraising performance, that means evaluating their actual performance, and then providing feedback. Then feedback is provided by the superior of the employees on the basis of set standards in terms of measurable units. Now next one is promotion and career planning. Promotion means to promote the employees at a higher job position. When employees perform very well and very efficiently, so they are being promoted in higher positions with more pay, which lead to higher job satisfaction and responsibility with more authority. Promotions refer to being placed in position of increased responsibility. They usually mean more pay, responsibility and job satisfaction along with more authority. It becomes very necessary for all the organization to take promotional decisions for their efficient employees and provide them opportunities for growth and advancement. In this way they can able to motivate their efficient employees, as well as they can retain the talented and qualified employees in a long run. Next one is compensation. Compensation means pay, reward and other financial incentives given to the employees for their physical and mental efforts in an organization. So it may be in the form of direct financial payments like wages, salaries, other incentives like bonus, commission, or indirect payments like employer paid insurance and vacations. These financial rewards are of two types: time-based wage plan or performance-based wage plan. Time-based wage plans means salary and wages which are given according to the time they devote in the organization, and these can be provided daily, weekly, monthly or annually. Performance-based wage plan means financial rewards are to be paid according to their performance, according to their piecework. For example, a worker may be paid according to the number of units produced by him or her. Some organizations prefer combination of time-based and performance-based financial incentives. Organization must consider various factors before fixing the compensation, such as labor laws, minimum wages payment act, unions policy, competitors policy, etc. All right, that's all for this.